How Bizarre is intended for mature, open-minded audiences only. If you are easily offended, we suggest you turn this wacky shit straight off.
Yeah.
The game itself is marvelous. It's beautiful.
Have you fucked a bear yet?
I have not fucked a bear yet, but
Give it time. Give it time.
I've about bashed my fucking monitor a few times.
I've never been so intrigued by a game in all of my life.
Uh-huh.
You got you got a game where you can fuck a bear?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
There's bear fucking. It made the news. I was gonna make a question about it, but I thought it was too widely received. I thought you all knew about bear fucking by now. Bear fuck fest, 2023.
I'm not up
Bear
on
Gate.
game news as you might imagine, but I should be up on anything to do with.
Yeah, I don't really need bestiality in my gameplay.
I haven't seen this much bear fucking news since that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio came out.
Oh,
Interesting.
The Reverend.
The Reverend.
I got a little bit of bear news if we get to it.
Oh man, I was just on Lau. I came back sans voice from Disneyland, so if I sound a little quieter or raspy,
Screaming.
What'd you say?
From screaming? Did you love like going on rides?
Yeah, there was some screaming. Yeah, sure.
You're like, oh my god, it's Mickey Mouse.
It's me screaming at my kid, "Get the F back here!"
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Well, I remember
There was
you
some of that for sure.
riding a roller coaster in Vegas when we were in Vegas together, and you couldn't talk for a couple of days.
Yeah, I
Like,
was screaming.
that was at the New York.
I remember that.
And it
Yeah,
was like
I
the
did lose my
subway.
voice.
I remember, but hearing you scream, whilst for anyone that's never been to Vegas or in the New York, the roller coaster goes like all the way through the hotel. Like it goes around it, but there's a part where it actually goes through like the big main lobby, which is supposed to look like a gritty New York City. I guess the subway or the train's going through, but there's a very memorable situation where Leah and I were sitting. I was having a beer, and you guys were up on the roller coaster. I wasn't into it, but hearing you scream from one end of the hotel lobby to the north. Yep, said it. That was a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, as per you, no John Mark yet. I guess he'll get on when he gets on. It's like even when we start late, he just still has to start later than everybody else. Starting a half hour later.
He's got spy things to do, you know?
He's still late.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true.
Has to sneak in
Crafty.
there.
I have an infatuation with actually Leah's car. I want one bad. I don't know why. It's just something about those Dodge Challengers.
Mm-hmm.
I want one. I'm like, I've been looking all over Washington and in Oregon for something that's reasonable. Because I mean, they sell a 6-cylinder version, which is really dumbed down, and then they got a 8 cylinder version, which is kind of more to my speed. It's the same motor that's in my truck.
Yeah.
But they're like 10 grand more. So.
Yeah, she started with the Charger, had that for a year or two, then traded it in for the Challenger, and this does seem to be more her speed. Very muscly. It's got a pretty sexy
She was
pearl.
always the Subaru girl to me,
Well, it's funny. She was very practical with her cars until we got divorced.
Oh,
Although
boy.
she says they do pretty well in the winter.
All right, hey.
But yeah, so she's always been into like muscle cars, but I think the Charger was her first actual purchase. But
That's awesome.
is that John Mark just slid in all fashionably late?
Had to water the dog.
Sure.
He wasn't taking no for an answer.
Well,
I used to have to water the dog too once in a while, John Mark. I understand.
Well, we're just going to kind of ramble a bit tonight, get caught up. If there's time, I got some news stories to get to. Then I got to give you guys a game because Chris just got back into town, so I wanted to give him a week off from doing some weird triv. But we definitely need to hear about how things went in Disneyland, because if you listen to the last week's show, or the last show, Christopher had some trauma to work through.
Yeah, and let me tell you,
my
my mom called me after we recorded that last episode, and she was like, "Are you excited for Disneyland?" I was like, "Mom, I'm way excited." She's like, "Do you hate me for that?" And I was like, "Why would I hate you? It was my dad." And she gave me some further information. She was like, "Actually, your dad found out that Mark, my husband, was doing meth, and that's why he wouldn't let you go on that trip."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Wow, all my years, I just kind of assumed it was something different, you know?
Of course. That's
So,
a big change.
yeah, it changes that perception quite a bit. And I was like, I feel like I have to say that. So,
Yeah, that's wild.
yeah, that was weird. But go
I
ahead.
found out today that Prince. I didn't know. I know he died of overdose, but I didn't know he died from an overdose of laced pills with fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
And because back then, fentanyl was never even a thing. You know,
Well, it was prescription. It was prescription.
Yeah.
well,
it was,
whatever.
And
At
it was
least he still
problematic, but.
laced with it. So
Mm-hmm.
whichever way you want to pull that, I don't know. It just I was like, what?
Yeah, I only recently heard that too. I don't know how long ago that came out, but yeah,
He's been gone for a while. You know,
probably
so
is what did it. Well, should we just get into the? That kind of blows my mind, Chris. That I mean, that there's a lot to that because obviously all the resentment that you had towards your dad is seen in a whole new light at this point. That's kind of a heavy thing for your mom to drop. You can't get away from the heaviness of anything to do with Disneyland, can you? Oh, you're muted.
I feel like.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was muted. You know, no, you're absolutely right. And I had just the best week, man.
That's good.
And truth be told, it was the first time me and his mom tried to do like a co-parenting big trip, and
Mm-hmm.
Ron knows more than most, but it's been a challenging year between us, and we've come a long way, both of us, and we had zero problems the entire time. We shared a hotel room, 2 beds, nothing weird or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great fucking time. I could not believe how big Disneyland was.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. And Ron, you told me that. You're like, it's like a city.
Yeah.
And I was like, how big? I got it. How big could it be? It was fun. Like they sell a park hopper pass where you can at any point in the day jump between the parks, and we didn't do that. And walking up, I was like, fuck, we should have got that park hopper, man. What if I just want to jet over there, with this or that?
Yeah.
I couldn't have. I don't think I could have. It was incredible. Haunted Mansion, amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I couldn't believe it. What else was really good?
Star
Logan did Star Wars Land. So Galaxy's Edge, if you will. As we got to that area,
Were
it
you
was the
edging
end
the
of
whole
the
time?
first day.
In Galaxy's
And
Edge.
I was
Those
edging.
videos, it
I
looked
was
like you
there.
were.
Bro.
Yeah,
Bridget, when we finally got back to the hotel room, she's like, honestly, the noises that came out of your body as we were going around that Star Wars land were unbelievable. Because I was just like, oh my god, we're under the fucking Millennium Falcon.
She's like, I haven't heard those noises since we made a child
Yeah.
again. That one
Yeah,
night in
pretty
Vegas.
much.
Uh-huh.
But it was unbelievable. One of the big ride. It's called
Screaming.
Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, that's on the other side. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Star Wars.
Yeah, and but it's like one of those things where you start and you walk onto a ship, and then you're in a holding bay, and then all of a sudden these doors open, and you're in one of those fucking shuttle bays that you've seen 1,000 times, life size. You're in it with 50 stormtroopers standing in front of you, and an at Walker in the distance, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And the characters that were walking around were so cool. These stormtroopers are just walking around harassing people. Logan loved them.
Isn't it awesome?
Kylo
Like, it's so
Ren.
legit.
It was
Like,
the detail.
Disneyland doesn't half-ass shit.
No, and that's all I could think about over and over again was I can't believe the detail of everything. The things above you, the things below you.
Yeah, the garbage cans, the benches,
everything.
everything is designed to fit the world you're in.
They built a state-of-the-art. I may be talking out my ass, but in the Avengers campus was a state-of-the-art theater, like 1,000-seater, where we went just to see a 30-minute play about Captain America, and it was incredible. It was like being at the nicest theater in downtown Seattle. People were it takes place in Captain America's first era, so it jumps around, but so everyone at the theater that was selling popcorn and shit was dressed up in that attire and stuff. It was just so immersive, everything felt, all the details were there. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And I had just a few more things I wanted to share. I kept thinking of you guys. I was getting a little sentimental and drunk at Disneyland.
Sure.
And at California Adventure, like there's a couple places in Disneyland proper you can get a drink, including that Star Wars cantina. which is fucking dope.
Yeah.
But in California Adventure, you could just walk around with a glass of champagne anywhere in the park. And they have a winery like in the middle. So I was like getting drunk proper, fucking around having the best fucking time.
Disney drunk.
And it was so hot. It was 90, 95 degrees the whole time out in the sun there.
It's muggy down there.
Oh, and we were cooking. And but I was drunk and I was like, man, I really wish I could do this with my friends. Like, I'd love to go on a trip with like the podcast mates. It would be fucking great to get Lyle on a plane and go do something crazy, you know, like something incredible like this. Because it really was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It was mad. Like, I got it. The second I got on that plane back home, I was like, this Disneyland is a cult. And I want to be a part of it. Like, sign me up.
Yeah. I am spreading the message.
Great.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where it's like you can hear all the stories and see all the videos. You can't appreciate it until you go there. Did you ride the train like I told you?
You know, it was down.
That's the thing about Disney. There's always something down, something closed. So you never really get all of it. But that's a pretty minor thing, other than getting around to be down if you had to have something down.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you if you're going to go to PAX this year.
No, I don't. I'm not. But like, I was just thinking, I was having some nostalgia about that as well. I wanted to share I had a couple more stories for you. We took Logan did a lot of rides. He did everything but the giant roller coaster. But we took him on what I'd never been, obviously. What used to be the Tower of Terror.
Oh yeah,
and
it was Twilight Zone when I was there.
It's a Guardians of the Galaxy ride now, so it was easy to get him on it. But like, I didn't know what to expect. I knew it was going to be one of those things that shot me up really high and then dropped me down. But it all takes place in a giant, for those of you that don't know, like a big old skyscraper. It's like one of the tallest buildings you see there on Disney proper. And so you fucking wait forever in this line, and then you get in this, what feels like these rows of chairs. They're like solid chairs on the ground, you know, they're low. And then you strap them with a single seatbelt across the lap. There's no roll bar cage over you or anything. And then they send you through this really brief thing, and then all of a sudden you are flying to the top of this skyscraper.
Yeah.
And then you stop and you go plummet straight down. You do this probably 6 times.
It's a sensation.
And I like that sensation. However, the seats we were in do not have anything above my shoulders. So as you reach the peak of the height, you are flying off your seat a little bit, and the only thing fucking keeping your ass in the seat is a tiny ass little seatbelt.
Yeah.
And that was so uncomfortable to me. I'm like trying to make sure my kid's not shitting his pants whilst simultaneously shitting my own pants.
Fair.
It was the photo that came out of that was pretty great.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, are you okay, kid? That was pretty
nice. Did you do Flash Mountain?
You know, we didn't do Flash Mountain. They were renovating that to something new when we were there. But we did a lot of other stuff. I did It's a Small World 2 times.
Oh boy, that song will be in your head forever.
Oh, kid loved it.
Isn't it crazy?
I was like,
it
the
just
first
goes
time I went there,
on
I was like,
and on.
oh my god. I was like, how long can this ride be? It was like floating through a fucking IKEA.
It's a fucking acid trip.
It was, and you know what, Lyle? All I could think about was like, fuck, Lyle would kill himself on this ride. It was it was a nightmare. It was for me. But it looked like it was straight out of 60s. Then I kind of dug that. I was like, man, this shit, it's like a time capsule, what it feels like, you know?
That's what's sad about some of that stuff being renovated is that it's all gone.
Yeah.
Once it's gone, it's gone, you know?
I understand that. The last thing I wanted to share was, and maybe you can do a quick Google while I'm explaining this, but there is something that they do now. So we happen to be there during the 100-year anniversary of Disney. And so it's a big, all year long, they're doing crazy stuff. But they do this thing called World of Color. Now, do that quick Google for that, just to pull up the video, Ron, because I'm going to try to do it justice, but I will fail. On Disneyland proper, they do the fireworks at like 10:30 p.m. above the castle. In California Adventure, they have this beautiful pixel pier is what they call it. And it feels like you're down on San Francisco Pier with a bunch of rides, carnival rides. And they have a big old lake, kind of like in front of one of the Ferris wheel. It's beautiful. When the sun goes down at 10:30 p.m., and you have to wait an hour to get a proper seat for this, on that water there, they project, so they shoot up a wall of water the size of a football field. And then in front of that wall of water, they have about 1,000 little fountains that also have light in them.
Yeah.
So they're able, and they project up onto that wall of water, and they're able to do interactive things with the fountains in front. Like, I've never seen anything like this. It
Yeah, it looks
fucking
nuts.
moved. It was incredible. And so for 30 minutes, or 15 minutes, they do a show where they project the greatest hits of Disney, but it's all been mixed in with like watercolor transitions. And I'm sitting there holding my kid up. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, another thing we're going to watch. I was like moved to tears watching this.
Wow.
I was having an emotional reaction. It was so beautiful. I mean, they did a Star Wars sequence where they did a little tribute to Carrie Fisher. Everything, every like emotional moment you've ever experienced in a Disney or Pixar movie hitting you at once. And I was just like, oh my God. And I'm holding my kid, and I snuggle him a little closer. And he leans in, and he's like, Daddy, in my ear. I'm like, yeah, honey. And he goes, your breath stinks real bad.
Perfect.
Perfect. Indeed.
I was like, thank you.
Thanks for locking in another part of this amazing special memory.
Core memory formed.
That story will be told forever.
It was wonderful, man. I got to be honest. I had the best time of my life. I can hardly wait to go back.
Yeah.
I'm bitter that I waited 42 fucking years.
Yeah.
Well, it's been longer, less than that since the tragedy. But
Right.
I had a fucking chip on my shoulder about it, and let that be a lesson, man. There's something in your life that you really fucking, that you have a sour taste about because of one bad experience. Maybe just give it a revisit.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you never know what your mom might have been hiding from you.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God.
Well, one of the most magical experiences for me when I was at Disney was just right down there on Main Street where these little boutiques, and one of them that was fairly
so many
unassuming was just kind of like a little video gallery of old Disney stuff. But when you first walked in, there was almost nobody in there. Everyone's got that they're running toward the castle, they're running toward the Disneyland looking stuff.
Sure.
So I was almost just alone in there, but they had this little screen that was playing Steamboat Willie, which was the first Mickey Mouse film. And I remember standing there thinking, God, this entire fucking empire and all of the magic. And yeah, you can be cynical about the company of Disney and, all these acquisitions, and even if you didn't like Walt Disney himself or the practices and all sorts of scandal and stuff, you can let that bog you down. But at the same time, so much of this shit fueled our dreams and has fueled the dreams and imaginations of people going back almost like 100 years at this point.
Yeah, wild.
I mean, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was in the 30s, and that was down the road from where all this shit started. And I remember standing there thinking, like, good Lord, this entire fucking thing and all the movies that I grew up with, most of the movies I grew up with loving, and all those Sunday night Disney movie around the telly. That was back when you had to catch something on TV and it was more special.
The Wonderful World of Disney.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was like that all fucking came from here. And it started in this really like, if you watch Steamboat Willie, look it up on YouTube, you're like, wow, this piece of shit is where it all started. But that's what it is. That's what it was. Yeah. Just the imagination of a guy. Walt Disney was an animator. He wanted to make little cartoons, and that's where it all started. So yeah, it was kind of a religious moment for me. But,
yeah, I can see why. I mean, like, even in the Disney at night, excuse me, and it's a whole different new thing. Like, it's a whole different vibe and beautiful in its own respect. And
going back when it's Halloween too is a different experience.
Oh my God, yeah, that sells out now quicker than anything. They do the Oogie Boogie town or whatever.
Yeah, the Haunted Mansion all becomes Nightmare Before Christmas.
I did want to share. I have one more thing I want to share, and you guys already know this story because I've been texting you guys about it. But I was I'm not going to use his name. Now you know it's him. I was going to use fucking they them. I don't think this person wants their name. I think they have a job where they probably don't want to be associated with a poo poo podcast.
Sure.
Like some of us. But I got a really lovely message while I was at Disneyland from somebody I'm just going to call Jay. And Jay said to me, hey, and I've interacted with Jay a couple of times at this point, a few times. And he said, I was going through some old posters and I found the Face to Face Ignorance is Bliss poster, and that's the album I've been talking about. That I was like, man, I'd love to get a copy of that album. It's like my favorite records, one I brought to the record club, but they're really hard to find and expensive. And he said he had this poster from it, and he wanted to ship it to me. And I was like, that's fucking so sweet. Like, holy crap. Yes, here's my address. I'd love that poster. And I put my phone in my pocket. We're literally in line for a ride. And I turned to Bridget, and I explained the story. And she's like, that's so fucking sweet. I was like, I know. When I get that poster, I'm going to frame it. Like, that's how much that means to me. I didn't think much of it beyond that. And I get home, nightmare traveling home. It always is, right? Yeah. I'm exhausted. And I get this message from Jay. He's like, hey, man, check your mail when you can, because what I sent you may not do well if it's sitting in a heated box. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, my first thought was, did this guy mail me weed? Because I'm like, is it like,
or an animal?
That was my exact first response. I was like, did he fucking? I mean, I better get it with her. I was like, you fucking sent me weed. So I go open the box, and I pull out this package, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is a fucking record. I knew immediately. Mm-hmm. I open it up, and there's this letter. I'm gonna read the letter because, listen, we've been doing this for Baker's dozen years now at this point. Mm-hmm. God,
exactly. No one can know.
Baker's dozen.
No one can know, and we get some feedback from a few really wonderful people regularly on Facebook, and that's awesome. But other than that, we don't really get. We get the emails, which I love. When Ron does an email thing, but feedback and interaction with you guys is really what, and like showing appreciation. And holy crap, like I got this thing. And let me read this letter. It says, Christopher, hey man, sorry about lying to you about this package. No promo poster, but I figured the actual album is better. I bought this when it was reissued. Great album, but it honestly mostly sits on the shelf. I'm a record collector, but if I'm not listening to a record every few years, or it does not have crazy sentimental value, it's easy for me to let go of. Sounds like this album means a lot to you. I definitely have a few albums like that in my life for various reasons. They mean a lot to me too. Happy this record is going to someone who appreciates it, and honestly, nobody should pay the dumb prices this thing goes for. I appreciate the podcast so much, and it's the least I can do since my Patreon monies probably only go to Ron. That made me fucking laugh.
True that.
He's like, wait, does this mean I have to send something to John, Mark, and Lyle now? They're probably out of luck. Anyways, thanks again so much for the podcast. Absolutely one of the highlights of my day when it comes out. Enjoy the record, Jay. Man, this moved me to tears as well. Yeah. I could not believe the generosity, and like I have listened to the record. I have it sitting first and foremost on my little collection, my modest collection of vinyl now.
Modest, but legit.
Man, so thank you so much. That was so sweet. And like, we love it. I didn't want to sound unappreciative of the people that we do get commenting and sending us stuff, because that's great too. So anyways, that was really, really moving. I had to share it. That was amazing.
Yeah, it is awesome. I knew that it was happening because he reached out to me to get your address, but by the time I was able to read it and get back to him, he'd already gotten it. I did not know the method of how he got it until you shared that with us from text. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, well, so it sounds good, huh? Sounds good on vinyl?
Oh, yeah. I only got to preview it. I just opened it actually last night, so
yeah.
I'm like,
Well, when he told me that, I was like, oh, yeah, he's traveling, so hopefully he doesn't sit around the back. But I'm glad it all worked out. And yeah, that was.
Did he send me weed?
Cool. Did you send me weed? yeah, that's good shit. Before we move on from Disneyland, totally, did you get an opportunity to go eat at Blue Bayou, or at least go on the Pirates ride?
Didn't go on the Pirates ride. I think we ate around it. I had a lot of the Disney staples. I gotta be honest, that was the one thing that I was a little disappointed in, was the food, because we'd read so much about the amazing food and stuff, and I found it to be so. And it was so fucking hot that I couldn't even eat a fucking meal in its entirety anyways. I was just like, ooh. But it was wonderful, man. I even like you said, those boutique-y areas as you're entering and exiting Disneyland. Like, we found a little cookie shop on our way out the last day, and I was like, I do not want anything. And as we were ringing up, I saw this pineapple cookie shaped like a Disney ears, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy that. I tucked it in my backpack. Nice. I got home. It's the best fucking cookie I've ever had.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fucking Disneyland.
Disneyland. Well, speaking of pineapple, did you go to the tiki you get to do the Tiki Room? That's
not
one of the
Tiki Room, but
oldest.
no, I didn't see that.
They got those
I
famous.
think
That's
I
where
got-
the famous pineapple Dole Whips.
I got the Dole Whips. I got 2 variants of the Dole Whips, and they were
tasty.
amazing.
They live up
They
to
do
the
a boozy
legend.
one, and even now.
A boozy one? Oh shit!
Yeah. Dude, it was so fun.
Dole Whipped.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I knew you would have a good time, but yeah, I can't remember who said it, John Mark Lau, but you did send us a couple videos.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of the last things I said to you before you headed out was, it's hard to know who's going to have the biggest, dumbest grin on their face, you or Logan. I think the video proves that it's you. You walking in, it's like, that's all it was a perspective of your face looking around and like the most legitimate.
I was so happy. I
was thinking, I think Chris is having more fun than Logan is.
I totally was. Like walking through the Falcon was like amazing. I was like, this is fucking amazing. Because it's movie set like, it's incredible. It's magical.
It's kind of a funny part about, especially the younger kids. Like, I have no doubt that Logan had a magical time, but it is funny how, on so many levels, Disneyland is more appreciable. I don't know if that's a word as an adult, because you really do notice. Appreciable, is that a word?
Yeah.
Well, we just learned a word there that I'll never use again. But like, I mean, I know I say it all the time, and it's kind of a stupid thing to talk about, but if you've been to other theme parks, you know how special it is when you see how clean Disneyland manages to stay. It's like they got like fucking people climbing out of the bushes to pick up every little thing, and they just disappear.
Yeah.
I caught a couple out of the corner of my eye, and they're just gone. But they're in costumes, not like they're not in full on costume, but they're everybody is blending in with what world they're in, and so it's just a constant cleanup thing.
They look miserable. Like the workers look miserable. But it was the hottest.
Can you imagine
so
working
hot
at Disneyland?
too. No,
when I was there,
couldn't.
it was cold. Well, it wasn't cold. It was perfect. It was like, it was autumn. We were there for the Halloween time, and it was, I don't know, sunny. It rained one day, just barely. It was fucking glorious. You know how I love cloudy weather and cool raininess. That in Disneyland, and I remember drinking something and walking around, and maybe I just drank a few and then walked around. It tends to have a similar effect, but it was a magical experience too. Just taking it all in, and that's when all the magic of the detail. It's there's nothing else like it. I mean, again, if you've been to even some of the other like biggest theme parks, it doesn't compare. Completely different animal. It is its own universe. Anywho, well, I do have a game planned for we'll end on that. We'll go where you guys want to go, and I got some news stories, but it is directly tied to Disney, and I do believe Christopher might have a leg up after just basically walking through the annals of history concerning Disney, so we'll make him go last, but we'll get to that in a bit. But first of all, I got a video that I got to send you guys. Are you all able to access Facebook at the moment? I think that's the easiest way for you to get there. Let's see.
I like how you ask. I'm just like, blam, here's a Twitter video. Blam. Let's get on TikTok, bitch.
Yeah,
blam.
I know where it's going to go. Okay, here we go. I'll send this over. Let's see, which one do I want to do? Oh, this is a little short one I'm going to send. I got a couple videos, but I'll send this one first. Did you guys see this video of the cop going down the fucking slide?
Oh, yeah. He got hurt.
He did. Not super bad hurt. And this video that I'm sending you is just like a little YouTube short. But all the other ones had too much wraparound, and it was from a newscast. But the problem with this one is you don't quite hear at the end when he lands on the ground and say, fuck. But I'm going to play it.
Oh, God.
I invite you guys to play it. It's real short. Play it a few times there.
It looks fake. It looks like he's a ragdoll.
I know. It's just this. It's hard to see how big this slide is. It just looks like a kid slide at a park. I mean, it's tall. It looks like it's
tall.
about 30,
like
30, 40
What's the story on why he was doing that?
Well, he was just fucking around. This was on some sort of like public property. It was like adjacent to one of the police departments or something. It was kind of controversial because he was on duty. But he climbs up this thing, and it starts out with this little zigzag metal tube, and then it just slides out into a straight slide. But for whatever here, let me see if I can turn the volume up here. You got to hear.
Well, in reality, that's almost probably 3 stories tall.
It's a tall slide,
or at least two stories tall. And then you see he loses his magazine to his weapon.
I know.
And his cuffs.
He may be in trouble for this, but let me put a little volume on it if I can fucking stop hitting the wrong button. Oh, I think it's connected to my Bluetooth speaker. Let me turn that off. Because he basically, all you're going to hear is him going, and you'll hear whoever's filming it, they're dying laughing. It's like, and you can kind of hear them at one point saying, why was it so fast? And that's really what this thing is. Like, how was he going so goddamn fast? Okay, give it a listen here. This is him going down. Yeah, they edited out the
And why is he on his face? Like, what the fuck?
He comes
I
comes
think
out
got turned
upside
around in
down.
that little loop.
Oh.
Like he was on his back, but then he like kind of got turned around in that upper loop.
He's flying. He is almost airborne when he first comes out of that tube.
Doesn't his like gun or his taser or something fly off his belt?
It looks
when
like
he
the
comes out?
magazine. I think Lyle's right. It looks like the clip for the gun. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You can even see the rounds on the one end of it. Can you imagine if his fucking weapon somehow went off? I gotta play it one more time just to hear the sound.
I'd like to hear that mixed in as the drum part to the Phil Collins song. You know,
fuck. Yeah, he's fucked up. He got. I don't know if he broke anything, but he. I think he did. I think he broke a few things, but he's not like seriously injured, but he got fucked up. And I don't know. I could not.
Road rash going on, probably.
Yeah, he was upside down, and then he goes sliding across. It doesn't slide out onto lawn like I remembered it. It's more like there's a piece of pavement there. So, but
it's probably what it probably is that they take like recycled tires and chop it up and make it into that weird foamy rubbery stuff,
Yeah, but it does look like something that would give you some gnarly burns. And when he comes out, he's almost flying off the side of. He's upside down, and he is going so fucking goddamn fast, so ridiculously fast that everyone was trying to like figure out what the physics are. Like, why would this slide be so fucking dangerous? But in reality, it's really
supposed
just
to be for like 180-pound
that's the
grown
thing.
adult.
It was designed for children. And another theory was that just his uniform and all the metal stuff added a particular type of lubrication. There are certain slides. Remember you used to get
grease.
those little trays, the little tray sleds that used to go down certain slides that made you go faster. That's what bacon grease.
I seen metal lube open up for anthrax.
Dude, anthrax has come up a lot lately.
Hey, do you guys remember the slide that was at Sterling Middle School?
Yeah,
That thing was
that was a beast.
ginormously tall, and it would just wave all the way to the very end. We used to take those sleds, with the metal rails.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
we used to take those metal runners down that thing in the wintertime.
Fucking fly.
and do that. Do just that.
What's crazy about that is that it didn't have a jump, but it leveled out in such a long way, and then the hill kept dropping down, so it felt like a jump because it was it was a little bit of a drop off. One thing that they got rid of that thing quite a while ago, but I'll never forget one time that my buddy Scott and I were just fucking around. We both kind of lived by the school. It was a central location, so we'd always hang out there, smoking cigs, just chilling. And we were sitting on the slide. We weren't playing on it, but we were sitting on it. And at one point, we were like, fuck it, let's just go down this motherfucker. It's been a while. And we were probably like 13 or 14. We were in junior high by this point. And we went down the slide a couple times. It was like, yeah, well, it was kind of fun. Walked back up. Then we saw these two girls about our age sort of walking up to us. And we're like, oh, shit, we don't want to look like a bunch of little fucking kids. Let's light up a cigarette and look cool and lean against it. So we did. And these girls walk up to us and they're like, ew, smoking? That's so immature. And then they got on the slide and started going down it.
Oh, man.
One of many missteps that a young Ronnie would have before figuring out how to interact with a lady.
So immature.
So immature. It was so perfect. It was like scripted. Yeah, long time memory. All right, I got another video. This one.
Well, on that subject of, well, you can pull that up. This weekend, I didn't know about it, but apparently it was the class of '93's reunion, 30th reunion. I went to that.
Oh.
And it was fun. It wasn't as big as the 20th, I don't think.
No, they dwindle over the years.
Yeah, well, there's probably like 50 people there that were,
That's not bad.
of the class. And then, obviously the better halves and whatnot. So it was a pretty decent time. I only went to the one Friday night because I had dialysis the next day, and then that just did it for me. I didn't do the Sunday or Saturday night thing. But it was fun. It's always a good thing to see friends that you went to grade school with. We're like kindergarten with, dude.
Yeah.
And you can still have those common grounds. And you guys are still friends, you know.
It's weird.
Throughout that whole time, and it's just, it's cool to be able to, have that.
Yeah, that was your original class.
Yeah.
Because you failed
I
at
don't
some
have
point
any-
and then
I'm
ended up
sorry.
in my class.
Yeah.
I don't have connections like that. Like, I don't have grade school. I don't even have high school friends any longer at this point.
Well, would you ever go to like your,
No, I moved schools too many times. Like, I moved schools like 10 times.
Oh,
so,
that makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the people that I went to like middle school and like shit like that, or was in Bangladesh. So who knows where the fuck they are?
Oh yeah, that would be fun though, dude.
It'd be really cool.
Super cool. Be able to go over there for a reunion. Hell yeah. There was a lot of people missing. I don't know why. It seemed like to me like a lot of them seemed like it wouldn't be that bad to drive. Like Brian Henson, I didn't see him, or Scott was there. Scott Bland.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good time. I saw Rob Goff, and
nice.
he was actually talking about trying to get a hold of me about when I was talking about the blood clot thing.
Yeah.
With AFib, he goes, dude, it's 100% real. He's pulled blood clots out of cadavers that were like 2 feet, 3 feet long.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's from COVID.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's nasty. And he was going to have me on the show to kind of like describe, I guess, some stuff.
Yeah.
That I was going through. And I was going through some stuff too. I mean, I've extracted, some blood clots, but nothing like 2 foot long.
Yeah, God, how do you?
3 foot long, after my surgery, because they had to go in through my guts and everything. So I've peed out blood clots and stuff like that. That were pretty gross.
Yeah.
That you like, oh my god, that just happened. I'm sure it's like something like the alien when it pops out of the chest. You feel like unclean.
Yeah, no
unclean.
shit.
So yeah, but I guess it's a real deal. He's got his other contacts that are on the show and related to his podcast.
Yeah,
that, are finding him
Warfield,
too.
Michael Warfield, probably one of them. Right?
Yeah. So they're finding like all these cadavers, these giant, monstrous, blood clots.
Yikes. Well, I know I talked about it at one point, but I had a really fun time at my 10-year reunion, and I wasn't going to go.
I think I talked you into going.
Well, yeah, Danny definitely. You and Danny. And I was like, I hated high school. All my friends are either dead or they're not going to be there. And I was wrong. It was I had so much fucking fun. I couldn't believe how much fun I had that I was actually looking forward to the 20-year, but it just kind of fizzled out for a lot of the people that I was going to go see. I was also going through different sorts of life period shit at the time. I just didn't end up doing it, but I might check in with the 30-year next year.
Yeah, that'd be
Never know. The other thing is, it was a magical thing to go from high school to 10 years. It was kind of like the last era where you'd be like, I wonder what so-and-so's doing. I wonder what they look like, how many kids they have.
Yeah.
Before
Facebook.
social media became a thing. And now we know. And
true.
that took a lot of a lot of the fun out of it. You'd think that it might have the opposite effect, where it's like, well, now we're all in touch, and it's easier to schedule things and let people know when it's happening. But it's also like, I see it.
You'd think so, but I know like a bunch of people that like I can't find on social media at all, even though like, it seems like they should be on there, but they're not. And like, there's people that I was really close to, even after high school, that have like zero digital footprint, like
Isn't that
nothing.
Strange? Doesn't
and
kind
it's
of
like,
bug
how
you?
is this even possible?
Like on the one hand, I'm like, good for you. On the other hand, I'm like, it kind of bugs me. Like, I want to know what this person's up to. But that's
it's
a little
fun
magic.
to track. Fun times. Sometimes it's fun time tracking those people down because you gotta almost gumshoe it. Like
Well, that was what the experience of
grew up in and
the reunions used to be.
Yeah, I've done it a few times.
Well, take a look at this next video. China has been denying accusations that one of their famous zoo bears is a man in a suit.
Saggy butt.
Have you all seen this?
Yeah.
Now, again, it's another YouTube short. If you haven't seen it, even if you have, just take another look.
It looks pretty convincing from the head up, but when you get
when he's standing up from behind, it is the wrinkliest bear pajamas. Yeah. But then when he bends down, it looks fairly legit. But the video starts, this particular version starts with the bear like sort of like clapping, like, yeah, let's do this, let's rock and roll. That is so human-y. And it's like, yeah, let's do this. And then he stands up and you're like, okay, you ain't fooling anybody.
From like the waist down, it looks totally fake.
So
but
fucking wrinkly.
From the waist up, it's like, wow, that's the best fucking special effects and makeup ever.
Yeah,
I'm like, real bear, maybe just weird butt.
That's the thing. It's like it doesn't really 100% just look ridiculous. But then you look at the feet and you're like, oh, again, that looks very pajama-ish. But the funny thing is, the more that experts are weighing in, the more it seems like the consensus from the expert, like everyone's, like the layperson, is mostly saying, "Oh, Jesus Christ, that is the phoniest fucking thing I've ever seen." But there is a bear called the Malaysian sun bear, and if you do a little search on that and see some other videos, I haven't seen anything with quite the wrinkly butt or quite the human-y movements, but it does look like there's a real bear that is kind of like this, and a lot of the experts are saying, "No, this that's just what they look like. It's a kooky."
Well, you
got
to think too, they're in captivity, so they're not really.
Yeah, they're gonna get saggy butt occasionally, right, Lau?
Yeah. I would think so. They're sitting on it too much. They're not really.
But that fucking clap is so funny in the beginning. It's like, let's roll. Yeah, but it's made more cloudy because China. This particular zoo and China as a whole has not been terribly honest with a lot of their zoo animals, and they've been known to paint donkeys to make them up like a zebra, and all sorts of tomfoolery. And they have been caught putting people in costumes to act like other animals. So
I had a hard time. I was like, is this a bear? Is this a person? But when it started, it did the clap and it did that synchronized dance to that Kid Rock song. I was like, oof, I don't know. That's a bear if I've ever seen one. Paw with the paw,
There is something about when he bends down, though. It's like, I don't know, man. It's a good costume if it's a costume. It just shouldn't stand up. But that's an easy thing to avoid. Like, don't stand up. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever get the truth, but I thought it was fascinating. It's hilarious to watch because you're like, oh, come on. But then most of the experts that I was seeing seem to be on Team Real, which is
I don't know, man.
Crazier.
It looks like a bear that came out of hibernation to me. Like too skinny.
It just depends on where you're looking at it, because some parts of it are like John Mark said, it's like super legit, and then you just see it's like the waist down, and even a little bit of the lower back is just.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything that's skin actually did that. Even like a Shar-Pei, or there are animals that have like wrinkly skin. They're almost like wrinkly. They're almost wrinkly in a more uniform way. This just looks messy and frumpy, and I don't know. That fucking clap kills me though. Anyway, audience, you weigh in. What do you think? Real bear or man in the suit? I'll post these videos on the Facebook post, and you can weigh in. Let's see. Do I have anything? Oh, did you see that leprosy is really gaining steam in Florida?
Sweet. I'm glad that's coming back hot.
Yeah. Apparently, 80% of all the current United States cases of leprosy are popping up in Florida, mostly in Central Florida.
Of fucking course.
That tracks.
Yeah, no one's surprised. Here's a little article that came off of CNN. Leprosy, also known as Hansen's disease, is caused by the bacteria Mycobacterium leprae, which attacks nerves under the skin. Scientists aren't completely sure how it spreads, but most believe that it's transmitted via droplets when an infected person coughs and sneezes. Ew. Its telltale symptoms include lesions and rashes that are numb. You get rashes? What are we talking here? Like fuel? Chicken feet? Telltale symptoms, blah, 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 blah. And rashes that are numb or lack sensation because of the involvement of the nerves. This is an interesting little tidbit.
I thought it was when your skin fell off, like a leper.
Yeah, I think it can at some point. I
mean,
mean,
it can. Yeah. What usually happens is, so what it does is it attacks the nerves, and your those appendages or wherever it is, like it goes numb, and you can't feel anything anymore. So people will like accidentally cut off their finger or burn themselves to shit on a stove, or you know what I mean, shit like that happens without you realizing it because you can't feel anything anymore. And that's why the typical, like, that's what the classic, like, stereotypical leper is missing limbs or appendages or a nose or
even
like
diabetes, which affects your nerves. If the nerves can't get nutrients to certain parts of the body, those parts of the body develop gangrene or other things, and they need to be lopped off. So you can imagine in a time where we weren't super knowledgeable about shit, that there would be these colonies of people with all sorts of disfigurations.
Well, they turn black. I see it in dialysis. There's a guy that sits next to me. He had his foot cut off.
Mm-hmm.
His toes, not his whole foot, but like all his toes are gone.
Yeah. Well, listen to this. This is kind of intriguing. 9-banded armadillos in the southeastern United States can also carry the bacteria. I did not know that we had armadillos in the United States. Am I an idiot?
Oh, yeah, Texas, right?
I don't want to go to Texas.
They're all over. Like
associate them with somewhere else. I felt so dumb when I read that. But
I was in Texas. I saw in Louisiana too. I saw like armadillo pancakes on the road. No joke. Like people, like roadkill, but they get flat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ew, nasty.
How's your armor now, bitch?
Poor little fellas.
Yeah.
Like, no problem. I got this.
Yeah. Try me, bitch.
So they're thinking that it might be people interacting with armadillos, although it's not always clear how humans encounter armadillo carried bacteria.
Look at this dead armadillo. Flat. Let me pick it up.
I bet you there's somewhere in this world where somebody has used an armadillo for bowling ball.
That seems like a Flintstones thing.
No, but really, I'm being serious. Like a roadkill. Oh, look at that, and we'll just pin it up and use the bowling ball there, Jed.
Well, here's one for genetic mutation.
No, laugh. No. All right,
I went down the road with you for a little bit there, before we swear it into the gutter. It says roughly 95% of people are not susceptible to the infection because their immune systems are genetically programmed to resist it. That's why we don't see leprosy as much as we once did. Historically, most cases of leprosy in the United States affect people who travel to countries with high rates of the disease or who are exposed to armadillos that carry the fucking disease. I didn't know any of this. But the bottom line is scientists really don't know. They don't know why this is happening in this particular part of Florida other than the armadillo theory. And it seems to be a good enough one if armadillos are rampant in the area. But I don't know what's happening, but I don't like it. We do not need... I felt better once I saw that the overwhelming majority of people couldn't get it if they tried. Like they just... There is a immunity to it. But not everyone has that immunity.
Well, in Florida, you would think it'd be like bath salts and like suntan lotion.
It's kind of the worst thing they need to worry about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help, but it is low on the list. But people have been joking because Florida has all these little islands and keys that it is kind of tailor-made for setting up little leper colonies. But if, in all seriousness, obviously we've heard a lot in recent years about how things mutate and they find a way. Life finds a way to mutate and trick your immune system. And who knows? We could have leprosy 2.0.
Oh, fucking awesome.
A certain group of people don't already have enough reasons to say that we are in the end times. I think that's all I got that's of much interest. But anything that you guys saw pop up on your radar, let's do that now. Then we'll take a quick break, and then I'll give you a game. I'm curious to see how you do on this one. I got high hopes. High hopes. Quick.
I want to hear about the lightsaber experience.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll take you back there real fast. It was good. It's $250 per person, so I was a little. I was ready for it, but damn, that was a lot of money. It was like a 30-minute experience. We walk up to this little tiny building that looks like a hole in the wall, and you're ushered in. You pick out one of 4 sets of saber options, like they call them, like power, balance, guardian, or I can't remember. Logan picked power, of course, and and it was good. You pick out all your pieces, your hilt, it's like 6 pieces, and then they come around with this little thing, and all these kyber crystals are lit up, and you pick which one you want: red, blue, pink, or purple, green, and then you assemble your lightsaber, and then Master Yoda comes on and says a few words, and then you get to take your lightsaber out of there, and then for $32 more they'll ship it to you.
Put your eyeball out, you will. Oh, so you do? Yeah, I assumed for that money you would get. You do get to walk away with the lightsaber, or you get.
You
it
do.
later.
You walk. away. We took it home. We took it to the hotel. He played with it. Logan's was red. He was very proud of it. He's a total little Sith.
I want to see a picture of them shits.
What'd you say?
I want to see a picture.
Yeah, I'll send one right now. Hold on.
Speaking of pictures, can I use your a snippet from your video for the of you walking through Disneyland, smiling ear to ear?
You can.
That'll be a charming.
Just make me look good.
Oh, I don't know. I got a certain bathtub photo that.
Yeah, just remember, I still have that. Okay.
I do. Remember.
Yes, and you got a couple photos right now.
Not that long ago we were talking about that, you and me, over text, and I'm like, the older I get, the less embarrassing that photo looks. Starting to look back and I'm like, huh. Doesn't look as bad as I remember.
Fit,
What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was definitely more fit. That's why it's so funny that it was so unflattering. But
so yeah, that's strange. I look back on photos of you because I've gotten known you for almost 15 fucking years now, which is wild. And yes, we've aged, all of us. But I think you look better now than you have ever, man. I don't know.
Well, thank you.
I think the women would agree, Ronster.
Some of them. I know Mother does.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, should we take a quick reset? Oh, here's the photo. Oh, it looks pretty legit.
Yeah, I mean, it looks real. There's a little video too. So.
Does it make noise? Like, whoa.
Oh, it lights up and everything. Yeah, it does. It makes noise. There's all that jazz.
I was gonna ask you. It's like that,
that's badass.
like full-bodied tube, or not?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, you remember?
I was gonna buy one of those a long time ago. As that was kind of the turnoff, was the fact that it was just a glass tube. I felt like I would break it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
These are like ones you can whap together, like full dueling.
That's smack
whatever. Yeah.
Dueling capabilities. Well,
Dude, I remember when I was younger, and like our lightsaber toy was basically a flashlight with an inflatable
I can see
inflatable
that.
thing on the end of.
Yeah.
I found an ad for it, a commercial, and I posted it on Facebook not long ago. I don't know why because I know this has come up on the podcast before because we got those one year. And first of all, they were amber color, which I don't know if even to this day there's an amber color in lightsaber in anywhere. There's got to be something close, but there wasn't at that time. That's literally what it was. It was a flashlight with a tube, a plastic tube that's like basically material that you'd make pool noodle, a floaty. That,
Yeah, a floaty.
it was attached to the end of the light. You blew it up, put the little rubber snap on it, and that was your lightsaber. All soggy. What's funny though is that even the commercial, like they don't try to hide it. Because they could have just like, whoa, 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 whipping them around. But they showed how stupid and floppy they look. Maybe I'll try to find that video, post it comments as well. Yeah, we've come a long way, baby. I remember I must have been like 6 or 7 years old when I got that fucking thing. And I remember thinking, well, it's kind of a lightsaber, but most of them like, this is bullshit. And I was from Eniat. We were poor. I appreciated what we had, but that one didn't quite sell me.
We also had, when we were in Bangladesh, we also had these flashlights that were like those flashlights that you would use in like an emergency situation that had like it was like a red plastic cone that kind of came off the end a short way.
Oh yeah.
And so you could like wave it around like, hey,
like
stop, there's an accident here or whatever. It's like that's what we called our lightsabers.
That's actually even more podunk than
any port in a storm, right?
Sure. Any lightsaber in a Bangladesh. All right, quick bathroom break.
All right.
Back. Before we move on to the game, I need closure on this bear fucking thing.
What about it? It's an NPC that you just...
So apparently there's a character that you can romance in the game that's like a druid. I think that's a shapeshifter, right? And I think you can have sex with it when he's in bear form.
As a bear. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I feel closured. I don't know if I need it, but I feel closured. All right.
Well, another bonus to that game too is the character, how you can make your character anything you want. That's pretty cool too. For aesthetic pleases. You could do a drow or whatever. You could do anything. Characters in the game, your main.
Yeah,
character?
they actually have genital options when you create your character.
Genital options.
You
Go back to.
You'd have foreskin or not,
Well,
Maybe
that
one
is
ball's
inclusive.
bigger than the other.
It's
I
very
don't know.
inclusive.
Yeah, but it's part of the game. You could actually do that. So if you naked, you could lose all your clothes. You'd be like literally naked in the game.
Like, oh, Gentile.
Swaying to the left, swaying to the right.
Well, let's get on to my game here. To keep it themed, because I knew the bulk of the discussion tonight would probably be Disneyland based. This is going to be the top 25 Disney films of all time. Now, we've done animations, and so a lot of that list will translate to this, but this is not 100% animations. But it is, let me do a quick scan. From my viewpoint, I would say that this is a solid list of well-known Disney associations. In other words, there isn't going to be any Star Wars on here, because even though Disney acquired that license later on, that's not a Disney movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
these are all movies for the most part. I think 100% looking at it. But there may be a couple in there that you're like, oh, that was a Disney movie. But these are all top 25 Disney movies of all time. I will tell you this. I was kind of surprised. There are very few like old school classic stuff. Definitely some classic stuff. People of our age and a little younger. Especially, but there is some old school shit. But
Do they include the Marvel movies in this?
Nope, no, none of that.
They're thinking more Disney.
When they contributed to this list, they were thinking like the shit that was Disney in the forefront, even not Marvel presented by Disney. You know what I mean? Like even it's not on the list, I don't think, but like Toy Story was a Disney movie because they were the ones that distributed it, but it's a Pixar movie. So I don't think there's anything confusing like that on this list. This looks like pretty straight up and down Disney. Now, since as I teased, or not, didn't tease, but I mentioned, Christopher is probably going to have a lot of these names in his head more than anybody else. So he's going to go last. And since John Mark cleaned my clock 6 ways from Sunday, well, all of our clocks 6 ways from Sunday in the last episode, he's going to go in the middle, and Lyle is going to kick things off because
Man.
I think the first 3 or 4 guesses are probably going to take care of some pretty big hitters. Top 25. Go for it, Lyle.
I'm gonna say Cinderella.
Cinderella. Interesting first choice. It is on
Man.
the list, and that's good. That's number 11. Good for 15 points. Not a bad one. All right, John Mark. Best Disney film of all time.
I'm first, huh?
You're second.
Oh, okay.
Did not hear Lyle go?
I didn't. What was this thing?
He chose Cinderella,
Cinderella. Okay.
which was number 11.
Really surprising.
Road. And take me home.
Disney film, best Disney film of all time. Like the most highly rated, or what's the?
It's ranker. People are just picking their favorites.
They're just picking their favorites. Okay. Number 1 Disney film. Oh my gosh. Fantasia.
Wow. Interesting. That is on the list. It is at number 20.
Ooh.
So that's worth 6 points. Interesting poll. What's funny is that I don't think a lot of people have seen that movie. I feel like I talk about that movie all the fucking time, and everyone's like, "What? Like pink elephants?"
It's crazy because that was like that was the film that was like animation is here, right?
Yeah.
That was the one that was
It
like,
was.
hey, look what we can do.
Right, but it is a strange film in that it's not your traditional story. It's an anthology with different animation styles, and they got the dinosaur thing, and then the Mickey. I think the most well-known part is, Mickey at the top of the mountain with the, what is it? Dun, 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 dun. No,
Wizard's
that's Bugs
Apprentice,
Bunny.
the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Yeah, that's what it
Tchaikovsky
was
or
called.
something.
Yeah.
It's classic shit, but it's kind of a fucking acid trip in places.
Hence why I would pick that, right? I mean, come on.
Hence. That leaves a huge opportunity for one Christopher F. Hart to slide in there and take number 1 before anyone else can get to it. But will he unmute his mic in time to do just that?
That is the question.
Just barely. I'm gonna go with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Interesting. Is that on the list?
Oh wow! I mean,
Yeah,
it made so much money. I thought, Jesus.
I thought I did see that on the list, but
Is
it
a
must.
ride at Disneyland. I mean, Christ Almighty.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
yeah, Waterworld there too, probably.
That's
Paramount.
Well, that's
Universal Studios.
Universal.
That's a big first whiff.
Mm.
Because let me look over it one more time. Top 25. Because it sure feels like it should be somewhere in there. But looking at these other movies, I don't know, man. I think it's funny because it is a ride, but I still feel like there's a big part of the population that probably does not associate those movies with Disney.
Disney. Yeah.
No. Anyway, yeah, that's a whiff. Good opportunity for Lyle to get one of these
I'm
big
going
hitters.
with that movie with Angelina Jolie, the Malevolent or
Maleficent, but
Maleficent.
Thank you. Yeah, we're all stupid.
Yeah.
Except for John Mark.
Maleficent. Maleficent is not on this list. I know this is greatest of all time. Interesting. These are fascinating guesses. I really thought we would get through at least the top 3 pretty fucking quickly.
I'm going with Snow White.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarves is number 6. And that is worth 20 points, so that brings you to 26. By the way, the song, Hi Ho, Hi Ho. Do you guys know what the next...
to work we go.
Do you guys know what the other... You heard what John Mark's version is. He's wrong. Do you know what it actually says?
What?
No. What
This
is
is
it?
one of those big Mandela effect things. It doesn't say it's off to work we go, apparently. I haven't confirmed this, but it keeps popping up everywhere. It's something like, it's home from work we go. Like, it's the opposite. And I thought, well, maybe that's what
That
it
makes
says
sense.
one way, but wouldn't they get... But everyone remembers it's off to work we go. I don't know. Might have to double check that in a little bit. But... 15 to 26. Christopher, you can get right back in it with number 1, and I know you can do this.
Well, I'd be worried about it, but when I get real worried about things, I just remember my motto, Hakuna Matata. Ain't no worries. Lion King.
You're talking. Number 1 with the
There
motherfucking bullet.
Hakuna
The Lion
Matata.
King, of
Hakuna
course, the biggest
Matata.
fucking Disney movie of all time. You couldn't escape it, and a great fucking movie. I don't know anyone that doesn't like The Lion King. And if I did, I wouldn't like them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't think Scar liked that movie.
I guess you don't like me then, Ron.
What? I almost expected you to weigh in. You don't like The Lion King?
Honestly, I don't know if I've ever really watched the whole thing all the way through, but maybe I'm sure I must have. But
I would be surprised if you didn't enjoy The Lion King.
Everything around it, I'm just like, I don't.
Well, you are a little older than us, not much, but I can vouch for I think we can all vouch. Like it matters how old you were and where you were in life when a thing came out, and then everyone won't shut the fuck up about it, and you're like, yeah, you just never got in on it. That's how Home Alone was for me. I didn't see that movie like 20 years after it came out.
Yeah.
And people would say the same thing, like, hey, they've never seen Home Alone. And I still got to say, it's all right. I don't think Home Alone is that great of a movie. But I probably would have if I were to watched it when it came out, and it was still sort of a new idea. All right. So where does that take us? We're back to Lyle, I believe.
I'm going to go with my little Irish voice and say, how about Free My Willie?
Free Willy.
Oh my god.
Not a terrible guess, but it's not in the top 25. No.
Oh my god, that's great.
That is a Disney movie, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Feels like it. Nope, not a bad guess, but another whiff. All right, John Mark.
I'm trying to think of stuff now because it's like there's Disney movies that I saw. Oh wait. Is Bambi a Disney movie?
Sure is.
Sure was.
I'm going with Bambi.
Not on this fucking list.
Wow.
What?
There's another one that, like I prefaced this, there are some old school classics, like old school, but there are a few that should absolutely be considered some of the greatest.
See, well, here's the thing: is I'm going to show my fucking age with this because it's like when I was of the age to watch Disney movies and really appreciate them. It's going to be most of this older shit, and so I'm assuming that most of the stuff that's going to be like the really high ranking shit is going to be when I was out of the demographic.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but they're definitely, at least the top 10 are definitely movies that you could guess.
Sure.
Even with that in mind. And there are plenty of classics that you would have seen. But yeah, no Bambi.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. But there's another one that popped another one in my head that should be on this list. In fact, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to make that the Ronster bonus. It'll only be worth 5 points since it's not on the list, but it's a pretty fucking big one. But so many of those movies, well, I won't. That might be a spoiler to my Ron bonus. All right, Chris, got a chance to pull ahead here. You're only behind by 1.
Well, I wish I had 3 wishes, but I'm only going to need 1 to wish for Aladdin right now. Aladdin!
Boy. Number 2.
These are my movies of my childhood, so this is right.
What about Aladdin, right, John Market? You've had to have seen Aladdin.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's a great movie. Do you like
I
that?
don't remember it that well, but yeah, I've seen it.
Gotta eat to live, gotta still eat.
Yeah, I was just gonna sing that.
That's another one that I didn't see until much later, but I fucking loved it.
Great movie, yeah.
Yeah, I've watched it many times.
I have an answer, and it comes with the story.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
It was a story that we had a sleepover at Ron's house.
Oh, gay stuff. I love it.
And then his mom was like, "Hey, you guys good? Everybody, settled down." There's about like 6 of us together.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "You want to tell us a story?" And she's like, "Sure, I'll tell you a story." How about the story of God, what did I say? I think I said Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. Uh-huh.
Pinocchio.
Uh-huh. You did indeed. Fortunately, my dear beloved mother didn't know what that meant.
I think we lost Lyle.
What, did we?
He just dropped out. The Pinocchio story was too much.
He dropped.
I'm afraid you're not allowed. Oh, you're right. Yeah, he's gone. I heard a tone. Well, that's too bad because Pinocchio is on the list. It is number 7, worth 19 points. So I'll add that up while he's hopefully dialing back up. That gives Lyle 34. John Mark has 26. And Christopher in the lead with 44. Well, we can keep going for now. We'll hopefully. Oh, there he is.
Hey, I'm back.
Everything okay?
And he's back.
I think the devil just got mad.
The devil. Well, no,
Jesus,
no
how dare
Pinocchio.
you. I smite you.
Pinocchio. Yeah.
I smite you with the
Smite.
Pinocchio song.
Well, did you hear
All
that the results?
I did not. Sorry. I was updating my drivers for my video card, and I turned everything off.
No. Well, Pinocchio is number 7. That's good for 19 points, which puts you in second place with 34 points.
Very cool.
Okay, John Mark, you're going to need something here. Let's see. Plenty of movies that you definitely know, and some that I'm sure
I'm going to go with Little Mermaid OG.
Ooh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Good choice.
Number 5, you're right back in it. That's worth 21 points, which takes
Yeah,
you
there it
to
is.
47, back in the lead by 3 for now. Top 3, let's see, number 3 and number 4. Definitely number 3 is one you all will get. Number
Sure.
4 might
Yeah.
be, we'll see.
Oh, ow. That hurt.
My turn again?
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hmm?
You there?
The thing about John, Mark, and Lyle right now is neither one's prepared. Both a little scared. Beauty and the Beast.
Wow.
Wow. You are just killing these right down the
You,
line now.
You need some, honey
Number
on
3.
Yeah. All right.
Number 3, that's worth 23 points, and that bumps Chris up to 67.
Yeah, bitches.
Dang,
Bring it.
son. So what do we got in the top 5 left?
We have number 4 left.
4.
And that one, yeah, I don't know. I certainly wouldn't have guessed it.
I'm gonna put this one on the oh no, I don't know. Because I don't think it's on the list, but it has to be said, I think, and I don't have a joke with it. It makes it even worse. But Frozen.
Oh, I love Frozen.
Let it go, let it go.
I was just thinking
I was kind of surprised it was this low on the list. I mean, it's not bad. It's at 17. I think it's in a fair spot, but with it being such a new phenomenon. But I was thinking, most of these people weighed in are probably parents that are so sick to death of hearing that song.
Yeah, sure.
But
Or-
that's worth 9 points. And that takes you to 43. So it's 43 to John Mark's 47 to Christopher's dangerous 67. If,
So very far back, flaccid last place.
John Mark, you're going to need the top 5 is pretty much. I'll be surprised if you get 4, but 8, 9, 10 fucking classics. 12, 13, 14, 15 gets a little hairy, but then the rest of the list is pretty solid. Of course, they won't be worth quite as many points, but there's some big hitters still.
My next guess is probably not going to get me the points that I need, but it's going to be Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, I thought you might get that. Number 10. That's pretty good.
Oh, nice.
So that's worth 16 points, which takes you to what did you have? Oh, yeah, 63. Right back in it. So if Chris gets a whiff or two, John Mark is definitely still in it. Lyle, you need one of these bigger ones to keep up, but let's see what Christopher has in store. We do know that he has a bit of an upper leg here.
Yes. I'm going to go with Dumbo.
Well, Dumbo is not on the list, but that is the one that I chose for my Ronster
Fuck yeah.
bonus.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that seems a little crazy. But
Yeah, that's
I
nuts.
wonder if Dumbo and Bambi are just too depressing.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking sad.
There's
Hey, how about this? How
um,
about this? If we get this to work, and then it'll be fun for everybody with Ron's favorite list.
ooh, that reminds me of
Ron's favorite list.
Pee Wee Herman for some reason. By the way, R.I.P.
Oh
Lost
man,
fucking
I was
Pee
so
Wee.
bummed about that.
Yeah.
I stopped it.
Quite a kooky life that guy lived. Well, that brings Christopher up to 72. Still enough game to play here.
Wait.
Lyle, if you get number 4, you are
Get number 4.
right
got it
back
right.
the fuck in it. But I don't know.
He talks a little like this. No, he doesn't. I don't think he does.
Well, I'm dying.
I'm gonna go with Shrek.
That's
Shrek.
not Disney.
Yeah, Shrek is a different company. I think that's DreamWorks,
Oh god damn.
or maybe it's something. I would guess DreamWorks, or maybe. What is that? I just so
Right.
Yeah, just DreamWorks. Yeah,
I think it's DreamWorks.
Good guess
Damn.
though. If it was
man.
Disney, it would be on this list 100%. It has the stink
for
of
sure.
Disney all over it, and it definitely pulls from all of these fairy tales and stories. All right, John Mark, gonna need at least no whiffs here. You want to stay in this game.
Man, all that's like in my head is shit that is like probably not on the list as favorites, but they're my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to go with the original Tron.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. That's another one that I would wager a lot of people don't associate with Disney. I certainly wouldn't have, but no, not on the list.
Didn't think
That
so,
is the
but
whiff
I had
you
to go with my
didn't
gut.
need. Sure. Well, if you
I'm gonna
got
go
nothing
with.
else, you gotta go with that.
I want to go with something a bit more modern. I hope some of these made the list, but one of my favorite movies to watch when Logan was a baby was Moana. I thought it was a beautiful movie.
Sorry, I'm
Did you
lighting my pipe.
Did you say marijuana? What did you?
I said Moana, but I do
It
love
was
it.
a beautiful movie. I loved it.
Yeah.
When Sarah and I first started dating, she would bring the kids to Radar Station, and while I was getting set up, they would just be quote unquote babysat in the theater watching mostly Moana.
Yeah.
And I would pop them up some popcorn, so that gives me some fond memories, and that's why I've actually seen that movie. Unfortunately, although you don't really need it at this point at the moment, not on the list. It was on the list of greatest Disney animations, but I didn't agree with a lot on that list, so I went with this one. I thought this was the most.
That was interesting about the pronunciation of that was brought up, because like I saw Ghost a few days ago, and they play the song "Mary on a Cross" live at their shows recently, and at the end of the shows, Papa usually does a thing where it's like, so the lyrics are like Mary on a cross, right? And at the end of the song, he'll be like Mariana, and he'll say marijuana, and he waits for the audience to say marijuana. And at the show that I was at, like, he didn't get the response they think that he wanted, and he was like marijuana, and he's like, come on guys, just say marijuana. Come on. And the whole crowd was like marijuana.
We get it. It's legal here. It's not a big deal anymore.
Kind of funny.
That is funny. Yeah, I was very jealous seeing the videos people are posting of the Ghost show, and I don't know much about the opening band. What is it? Amon Amarth? Is that Amarth?
Amon Amarth, yeah.
But
They've
I
been around for a
love
while.
that there was fun. I'm aware of them. I just don't know much about them. But I'd love that they had like the big old
They're awesome.
Iron Maiden type stage with
Yeah, Swedish
an attacking
Viking metal
dragon
band
and Viking
they
ships.
they had dudes like fighting on stage with like swords and shields and stuff. Like, dude had the Thor's hammer, and he was like bashing the like inflatable dragon in the mouth with it and stuff.
I told John Marcus on his post, I'm like, I'm so glad that in this day and age we still get to see concerts of this shit, because it still makes me happy, like it did when I was 12. Okay, so where does that leave us? That puts us back to Lyle, right?
I'm ready.
Am
And I got
right?
a story. I got a story to go with it.
Okay.
So the old company I worked for was a heating and air conditioning company, and the owner's nephew was always gone. You could never find him, right? And we were like looking around. He was supposed to be there, at the shop, and we went across the street where the parking lot was, and he was out sleeping in his car. But prior to that, one of the other employees goes, "Huh, man, I wonder where Nemo is." I go, "Nemo?" He goes, "Yeah, trying to find Nemo," because we couldn't find him. He was out sleeping in his car. So that's Nemo. Yeah.
Finding Nemo was on the best animation list, but it's not on the best overall top 25.
Huh.
Good guess, though.
Right.
That was another movie that I didn't know was a Disney movie, honestly.
No.
But it is. Yeah, good guess, but not on the top 25. All right, John Mark, got to bring it home here. Got to bring home. So here's the thing. Number 8 is still worth 18 points. Number 9 is worth 17. 12, 14, Peter Pan 13. These are all movies that...
Peter Pan 13?
Oh,
You just give away an answer.
Yes.
Let me take Peter Pan off the list.
Yeah.
Guess we can't guess Peter Pan.
Yeah, great.
Be honest, you guys wouldn't have got... You wouldn't have guessed Peter
Probably
Pan.
not.
Yeah.
Sorry
My
about that.
brain was not going there for sure.
And it's what's funny about that is that I don't feel like that's a Disney movie, but it's fucking Tinkerbell, for God's sake. Of course, it's like everything
Right.
about it is Disney, and the rides at the, I don't know. It's a weird association what reads Disney in my head and what doesn't. All right, John Mark, Peter Pan is off the list.
I'm trying to go through like my brain vaults right now and think of like, okay, Disney stuff that's like what reminds me of Disney movies that we haven't guessed yet that I might know of that are, to me, like great Disney properties, but I can't. I'm just like fucking drawing a blank.
Yeah, it's hard.
And
It's hard when you don't have this list. And you weren't just in Disneyland.
I was like, speak for yourself, motherfuckers. Very topical for me right now.
Again, though, there's a good mix of new, or not. I wouldn't say new. These are mostly. I do think a lot of these would be considered classics from whatever era you're referring to as classics.
Well,
but there's old.
So
and old new.
here's the thing: are we talking like technically now like Marvel and Star Wars are Disney properties?
No, I think you missed a little part of my intro when I was talking about that because you didn't hear Lyle go. But no, it's none of those things. It's
none
all
of that shit.
It's all
Like
stuff.
classic Disney stuff.
Yeah, not
Disney
stuff that they
Okay.
acquired later on. That would be a really hard list.
Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, good guess, yeah.
There you go. Number 9, and that is worth 17 points. Yeah, and there's a few more from that era. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. I'll add this up.
Jungle Book.
Ooh,
Interesting.
good pull.
Get Lady and the Tramp brought John Mark up to 80. Jungle Book will bring Chris to. Let's see here.
Where was it in relation to Peter Pan, the one you gave away?
That brings you to 90. Because Jungle Book was the last of the top 10 at number 8.
All right.
With 18. So this is interesting, though, because John Mark has 80, and you got... Oh, no. No, that's right. 72 plus 18 is 90. So, Lyle, you're not looking too great here, but if they get a couple whiffs and you hit some of these in the middle, you could definitely be in the running. But it's interesting between John Mark and Christopher. Next couple rounds will be intriguing. But I feel like the biggest hitters that are probably on your guys' brain have been picked at this point, but we'll see. So where are you going, Lyle?
I'm going to go with 101 Dalmatians.
Oh.
All right. I thought it should be a little higher on the list, but that is 24. Didn't whiff. Takes you to an even 45. Not a big help.
I am drilling fucking bad.
Yeah, you missed a couple, and Chris got some big ones, and then John Mark got a big one at the end there. All right, John Mark, if you get anything from 12 to 16, You are definitely tied or in the lead with Chris.
Was Toy Story a Disney movie?
No,
Well, I think it was. I think it was. I mean, it was a Pixar created movie, but it was. I saw it on other lists, so it must be.
It was when Pixar was part of Disney and then they split or something,
Well,
or what?
I think they were separate at that point, but Disney, like it was a Disney presentation. It was something like that. It was technically a Disney film, I guess, but
Not on the list.
not enough for people to consider it a Disney film. But yeah, well, Chris, it's your opportunity to take this away.
I'm gonna go with Mulan.
Not in the top 25. Nope. Good guess. Gives a big opportunity to John Mark. Not quite as big of a hope for Lyle, but we'll see. They could whiff. They could get a few whiffs here.
The only thing I could think of is like Mary Poppins.
Mary
That's
Poppins.
Disney.
All right, that is number 21. You're nickel and diming your way to 50. Only 30 behind second place.
Nice. Don't spend it all in one spot.
Hey, it's not a whiff. And like I said, if they get a few more whiffs and you don't, you never know how this is going to pan out. But all right, John Mark. Might be one of your last chances.
Oh.
Ooh, wow. I did not expect that. Number 12. That is worth 14, which puts you in the lead.
Is that possible? I got 1, 2, and 3.
With 94.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well, you remember how I did against John Mark? I got like all the big hitters, and John Mark just nickel and dimed my ass into oblivion. Yeah. He got some big ones though against me, and he got some big ones tonight. I didn't think anyone. I would never have pulled Hercules. Pulled a hammy, but not Hercules. So Chris, it's interesting for the first time.
It was just like I was thinking like. I was just trying to think of movies that I knew that like were maybe popular at all, you know,
I think that's the way to go from here on out.
It's like,
I mean, there are still some ones that we all know and love, but well, it's a bit of a crapshoot here on out.
We're getting old too, so.
And there's one on here that
Cocaine Bear.
I would never ever have associated with Disney too. That's right in the middle, and that's worth a chunk of points. All right, Chris.
I might be totally giving John Mark the game here, but was Indiana Jones, was Raiders of the Lost Ark a Disney flick? I think it was, right? I'm gonna go with that.
No.
All right.
It was
Lucasfilm.
Lucasfilm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's owned by Disney now.
Yeah.
Although you never know. Who knows how that shit all got splintered, but no, not a Disney movie, but not a bad guess. Huge opportunity for John Mark, but Lyle, you can get some of these too.
I do a little woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Pooh Bear. I can't do it. Winnie the Pooh.
Wow. Now see, that's
I'm
the
not
one.
Sure that's Disney.
It is. That's the one that I was just saying. There's one right in the middle here, hogging all these points, and I don't know that anyone would associate it with Disney. But it's the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which is the movie that we all know. But now I can picture I had the storybook of that, and I can picture all the Disney stuff associated with it, like on the label or the cover and all that. So good guess, Lyle. You are not out of this just yet. So that was 15, worth 11, gives you 61. John Mark is in the lead with 94, and Christopher with 90. We'll do a few more rounds here, and this is a close damn game. John Mark could cinch it here if you get let's see, we got number 14. Let me say this slowly so I don't read the name. Number 14, number 16, and number 18. Only one of those. Well, I won't say anything else, but those are cinchers at this point if Christopher gets another whiff or two.
I'm trying to think of things that haven't been guessed yet and things that I know are Disney films that might be popular.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that I can think of is a Disney film that I know that it's probably not that popular. But to me, I don't know. It's a fucking wacky film, but The Black Hole.
The Black Hole, interesting. No, not on this list. And that is a big opportunity for Christopher to get back into the lead. Won't take
Let's see. We
a big
already
hitter.
did Snow White, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did we do Sleeping Beauty?
We did not do Sleeping Beauty. And
Oh, that was the one I was thinking of. I was like, in my brain was conflating it with the Cinderella for some reason.
Yeah, it's easy to get them all confused. Sleeping Beauty is not on the list. Kind of surprised.
What?
Wow. All right.
Yeah. I think it's comparable to some of the things that are. There's some pretty big ones on here, even though they're not big scores. Okay, Lyle, you can continue your nickel and diamond your way back into this.
Well, my process is actually just thinking about Disney princesses.
And there you go.
That's
and
my
then going with
process.
like the movie they're in. So the one that I don't think has been said is Pocahontas.
Pocahontas is a great guess, but not on the list.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I don't think any of you, unless you just didn't have a Disney movie, I don't think any of these have been terrible guesses. Back to you, John Mark. We'll try a few
already?
more. Well, wait. Oh, yeah, it is, because Christopher guessed Sleeping Beauty and Lyle guessed
Pocahontas.
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 Flight of the Navigator.
I love that movie. Not going to be on this list, though.
It's not on the list, but that is a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's a Disney movie?
I got the kids.
Speaking
I don't know.
of Paul Rubens, he voiced the robot.
Compliance. I don't know if that's a Disney movie. Feels like it.
It is. Yeah.
But
what about
great movie, great
did
guess.
Did Cinderella go already? Did somebody say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the first
Cinderella.
guess.
That was my first one. First. Cinderella. Ooh.
Fuck.
One of
I'm
those-
running kind of dry here. Give me a sec.
I hear you.
Okay. Well, we'll do a few more rounds.
Okay. I don't think this is on the list either, but I'm going to go with The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Ooh, interesting. Number 16.
Oh,
Which takes
points
you
to
an even 100. And you are in the lead. That's big because there's been some whiffs.
Well, we had a good game, John Mark. Good game, everyone.
We'll give it a couple more rounds because I'm enjoying this back and forth. Lyle, at this point,
Well,
you can
dig
screw
deep.
them by taking
Well, we
it.
were talking about like medieval games and stuff. What about the Sword and the Stone?
That's a good guess. I feel like that's a pretty classic
Animated.
movie, but not on the list. Nope. Yeah. All right, John Mark. You only need 6 to tie it.
Thinking.
And that would 19, 18, and 14 are all still open. And but even if you get any of the others, it'll keep you from getting too far behind here.
Thinking.
Let it go, let it go. I don't know if I've actually ever seen that movie all the way through. The kids used to watch it. That was the big thing for a long time. So I remember the songs, but I don't think I ever looked at it.
The computer wore tennis shoes.
I almost did a whole Ron list, but it's like they're not going to guess the stupid movies and be on my list, and that was one of them. I'll tell you what the other ones were because I don't want to take anything off the list. But no, but I had several from that era that are important to the Ronster. No computer wore tennis shoes. An excellent early vehicle for one.
Kurt Russell, right?
Kurt Russell, yeah. I kept wanting to say Jack
fucking A.
Russell. I was combining his character name from Big Trouble and a Dog.
Dude, speaking of Kurt Russell and Big Trouble in Little China, I saw a post on Instagram the other day where somebody had like these amazing tattoos on both of their calves of Big Trouble in Little China. It was like on one side it was like Jack Russell doing a thing with a bunch of amazing shit, and on the other side it was like
you called him Jack Russell too.
Kim Cattrall's like character doing a thing. On his other leg was like the David Lopan. Oh my god, dude! It was like that's a fucking commitment.
There's a lot to pull from.
That's a fucking commitment, dude. But they were amazing.
That's
But anyways,
awesome. I'd like to
yeah.
see that. There's a lot to pull from that wacky fucking movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. Okay, who is it? Christopher's turn now?
I think so.
All right,
What
well,
about,
you can take it here. One of these.
I'm pulling here, but what about Lilo and Stitch?
Here are some results.
Oh, Alexa, stop.
Stop Lilo and Stitch. Not on the list. So
Yeah,
looks like
okay.
John Mark might have one more shot here. Why don't we do 2 more rounds? 2 all the way through. This will be the first one. Lyle, you can steal one of these from these guys.
I'm going to.
Might be your best bet here.
I had this on vinyl, and that's the only thing I could think of. It's way back, dude, early 80s. Was Pete's Dragon.
Oh, that's a good guess. I had something from that same era. I might have had that on vinyl, but one of these movies that's definitely a classic, sitting at 18, is one that I had on vinyl. It was the audio of the whole movie condensed. You know, that was a big thing back in the 70s and 80s when that was our home movies before
Yeah, sure.
VCRs in every household. But nope, not on the list. All right, John Mark, you only need 6 points to tire. This is one of your last 2 chances. Christopher might just take this at an even 100.
Dumbo was already guessed, right?
Yep.
You're goddamn right it was.
Yeah.
And not on the list. It was on my list.
Fuck. Disney movies. I'm like drawing a blank right now, honestly.
I guess because you're so close. The pressure's on. Pull one of these out of your ass, you're in the lead.
Disney animations, live actions.
Yeah, dude, I'm going back to like recessing back to like 5th grade.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
20 seconds.
Fuck, dude, I got nothing.
I bet you can find something in the remaining 15 seconds.
I'm trying to think of shit that I've experienced in like what are those video games from SquareSoft?
Yeah. Fuck.
What are you talking about?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They reference a lot of Disney movies in those things.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's not a bad way to go. I'm sure that pops up.
Shit, dude.
All right, 5 seconds. Pull
Nothing. I got nothing.
Oh, come on.
Nothing.
Guess a cartoon that might not even be at Disney. You got
I
something.
got.
Well, does it have to be?
Well, you'll get one
I
more.
seriously
You'll
got
get
nothing.
one more
Got
chance.
nothing.
All right, think
got
about it
nothing.
one more time. But you need Christopher to whiff here. It might be.
I got nothing.
If Chris gets
I'm
one
gonna-
of these, it's probably out of your.
This might be out in left field, but I'm gonna go Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
What about
I don't know. Was that a Disney movie to begin with? It's not on the list. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Wow.
I know that that's part of the Disney collection now. I don't know if
It
that
has
was
to be part of the Disney. It's something.
I don't. That might have been something they acquired.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a different studio back then, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Who fucking knows?
Good guess. And all right, you guys need to be thinking while Lyle's trying to steal something from you here. Lyle,
Doing it right now.
Last round.
This is about a car, been around forever. There's like 4 of them, and it's but I'm gonna go with Herbie the Love Bug.
Oh, Herbie the Love Bug. Loved those movies as a kid. Not on the list. Yeah.
Yeah, bummer.
There's something I would put in that category and from that era. Kind of, maybe. I don't know.
I was thinking Benji too.
Well, my
but,
list
like,
would have been filled with that kind of horse shit. I'll tell you what my list was when we're done. All right, John Mark, did something occur to you in that very fast round?
It did, but it's not going to be on the list at all, for sure.
Okay.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That's not a bad guess, but you're right. Not on the list. Well,
I'll take my last guess.
take your last guess. Take your victory lap while you take your last guess.
I'm gonna go into another modern classic, Encanto.
What?
Encanto?
Encanto? Have y'all not seen Encanto? It was
No.
probably one of the
What?
best Disney movies I've seen in 20 years. It was so good. It came out 2 years ago.
Okay.
Another Moana style, very, very good.
Yeah.
Family Orchard. Surprised it's not on there.
Yeah. Well, you didn't need it because you got 100, but boy, that got exciting there in the end.
We don't talk about Bruno. No. You guys ever heard that song? It's all over the fucking radio.
Mm-mm.
We don't
Nope.
talk about Bruno. No. What?
Nope.
No. Well, good job. And as
I got one. Let me do one.
Well, okay, you can do one more.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
No, not on the list. Let me tell you the two that were on my Ron's list that weren't on the list. World's
Yeah.
Greatest Athlete.
Don't know anything
One
about
of the
that.
greatest films of all time. And The Cat from Outer Space.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Oh my God.
I was just about to say that.
Shit
The
holds
Cat from
the
Outer
fuck
Space.
up.
That's on Disney Plus right now.
It holds up. I showed it to
Yeah.
the kids not that long ago
Yeah.
from time to time.
Does it hold up? I need to watch
They'll
that
bring it
again.
up.
Love that
It
movie.
does
Great.
in I mean it's a talking cat from outer space.
Yeah.
Timeless. It's timeless.
Dude, something I didn't realize, but like the other day I watched the original Batman,
Mhm.
and I couldn't believe how much CGI was in there. Like at the beginning,
89
the Tim
Batman?
Burton one?
yeah, in the very first Batman, yeah, it has so much. Even the first 5 minutes, you'll see a bunch of animated, drawn special effects.
I wonder if they've gone back and enhanced that because
I don't know because
That
it was
would've
well
been
because you're
pretty
watching
fucking
4K
early.
now.
yeah. Well, could be.
Yeah, basically it was like the shadows. Like there was an upshot where he's standing down, walking in through a lit door, but your aerial shot, and you can see his shadow. Well, his shadow is all pasted with paint. They're just drawing the paint of the shadow. It's not real.
I haven't seen that movie in far too long.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to go back and rewatch.
You can see it. It's trip. There's a lot of it in the movie.
Well,
Like
let's
all-
run through what you guys didn't get real quick, and then we'll get on out of here. 25, another one of my favorites, Aristocats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
24 was 101 Dalmatians. 23, another classic, Robin Hood.
All right.
Oh, I almost guessed that. Okay.
22, another movie that I think a lot of people probably don't associate with Disney, but a classic, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Love that movie. Yeah.
What now?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
So something. What now, the kids? Slower, please.
Shrunk.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
You never saw that? With
You not
No, but
familiar with this movie?
I just like he was saying. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, sorry.
That's what it sounded like.
That movie was awesome because of the crazy special effects, and it came out at a
Okay.
perfect time because it sort of reminded you of like the Double Dare stuff where you're swimming in like giant cereal, and
yeah.
that was fun.
Kind of like Beetlejuice too. Beetlejuice had that weird
yeah.
kind of vibe to it.
Beetlejuice, great fucking movie. 21 was Mary Poppins. Then we had Fantasia. 19, Princess and the Frog.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not one that would have been on my radar. 18, on the other hand, absolutely on my radar, and this is the one I had the record of, The Fox and the Hound.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we actually had the dolls, the little fox and the hound,
Yeah, classic shit.
the plushies. Yeah,
Then we had Frozen, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Notre Dame, however you want to say it, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. 14, I never would have guessed, Zootopia.
Oh, okay.
We had Peter Pan that a certain host spoiled.
John Mark's noises to this one is my favorite. What?
You guys got the rest. Hercules, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Lady and the Tramp, Jungle Book, Pinocchio, Snow White, The Seven Dwarfs, Little Mermaid. Oh, you didn't get number 4, Tangled.
Oh, okay.
Tangled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have brought it home for somebody. Then Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King. So there you have it. I think it's a pretty solid list.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
bad.
Tangled. I was thinking of like shit like Disenchanted and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
similar vibes probably, but like not Disney
Yeah,
necessarily.
there's so many of them, and they all have their different eras, and they all kind
Yeah.
of blur into those eras. But anywho,
Especially if it's not your wheelhouse.
yeah.
yeah, not mine.
Well, that was fun. And I guess tune in next week so we can maybe chat about 9/11.
Everybody watch Tron and the Black Hole.
Tron and the Black Hole. Well, real quick, what is all of y'all's favorite Disney movie, hands down? Maybe we've covered it, but
Tron.
that's
Legacy.
John Mark's.
Tron Legacy.
That's
No, I
that's
don't know
your
if I've
favorite
ever
Disney
covered
movie
it.
of all time, Chris? Tron Legacy?
No, I was just playing off John Mark there.
Oh, okay.
No,
God,
for
I
real.
don't-
For me, Tron. Fucking Tron,
Wow.
dude.
Tron is pretty dope. What about Dune? Wasn't Dune like?
No.
No.
Nah, wasn't even part of it.
No.
I thought maybe
Nope.
affiliate of it.
Nope.
Even in
It's
their
not
crazy
really-
years, Disney wouldn't have gone anywhere near
What
that.
about what about the Last Starfighter?
Nope.
I don't think that was Disney
What
either.
about-
What's your favorite
about-
Disney movie, Lyle?
I don't know.
I have
Tron.
yeah.
Tron number one.
Well, it could be one of
the
these
Black
from the
Hole
list.
number 2.
Black Hole and Tron, the classic Disney films.
My favorite.
I
all
think my favorite would be Lion King, or I know it's gonna sound strange considering how well y'all know me, but I love Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Little
That
Mermaid's a
was
good
my
movie.
jam. Yeah.
I would put Alice in Wonderland or Lion King as my favorites, but I do.
Alice in Wonderland number 3.
I probably saw. If Flight of the Navigator is a Disney movie, I probably saw that more than any of those. Maybe even combined. That was one of the VHSs we had when I was a kid. Fucking loved that movie then. Love it now. It holds up in a way. It feels dated and it's bizarre, but it's the spirit of it. I mean, like I said, the kids love it. Lyle, did you come up with one real quick?
Yeah. I'll tell you next week.
All right. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi-ho, it's home from work we go. Hi-ho, 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 it's home from work we go.
I don't really need bestiality in my gameplay.